Fox News strategic analyst Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters joins me now with some more insight. Thank you for joining us, first of all.
Hey, great to speak with you, Heather.
So Iran signs the nuclear deal, and it's pretty clear they're not going to keep up their end of the bargain.
Well, no, they're certainly not. Now, these particular tests violated a UN resolution other than the nuclear deal. So the Persians, the Iranians, are very sophisticated about how they're doing all of this. But essentially, these tests, yesterday and today, timed, by the way, to coincide with Vice President Biden's visit to Israel, another insult, they're out to do two things. One, they're, after the elections in Iran, returned moderate reformers. This is the Revolutionary Guards and the hardliners showing everybody who's still in charge, because elections notwithstanding, the people who hold the guns hold the power. The other thing they're doing is, and they're enjoying it, they're rubbing it into our faces. They're rubbing it into President Obama and Secretary Kerry's faces, that they can do whatever they want now, because this terribly flawed nuclear deal was front-loaded with benefits for Iran, and the benefits we get, if we get them, are spread out over the long term. Right now, even if President Obama decided to abrogate that bad nuclear deal and resurrect sanctions against Iran, it wouldn't work, because the Iranians Iran has been flooded with European and global corporations signing contracts right and left. The Iranians are very sophisticated. They've even dangled the carrot of a huge aircraft buy in front of Boeing to get American business on side. So essentially, our President and his Secretary of State have painted themselves through a very dangerous corner in which whatever we do or fail to do, we're the losers.
Well, so then the question is, what do we do? Because the sanctions clearly aren't working. And as you mentioned, this isn't the first time that Iran has snubbed their nose at us. In October, they fired that guided, long-range ballistic surface-to-surface missile. They also took 10 sailors. They seized 10 U.S. sailors, amongst other things. So what do we do? How do we react?
Well, sometimes in the real world, there's no good answer. And this is so bad, there's no good answer. And Heather, you just raised a very important point. Sometimes in history, a relatively small event will have huge reverberations. And when the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy seized those sailors, tormented them, not tortured, but tormented them, and then eventually lets them go the next day, Secretary Kerry thanks Iran for how they handled the situation. That was decisive. The Iranians at that point, the hardliners, knew that President Obama is not going to respond. And meanwhile, again, as you observed, Heather, Iran's on the rampage in Syria, in Yemen, in Iraq, and we
getting
don't know
cozy
what
with
to do.
Russia. Cozy with Russia.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And so, I hate to say this about my country, but we've lost this one.
It is infuriating. Colonel Peters, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.